get into it. Today we are talking about condo versus co-op. I was asked this question by my sister because she's actually currently looking for property here in DC. And this can happen in any metropolitan city where there's a lot of development, a lot of condos, a lot of co-op construction going on. You want to know the difference between the two. When you're looking at Zillow and Truly and all those types of websites, sometimes they group the two together where it'll say condo slash co-op. They are two different types of ownership, and you should know the difference between them because you just need to educate yourself so you can make the best decision for yourself. So in regards to, I'll talk a little bit about that. In regards to a condo, when you're looking through the listings on these other sites or MLS, you may see that there is a super low priced property in a neighborhood where you know is on the upswing and the price is it's just an outlier. There's no way that this property is this low price. 9 times out of 10, it's a co-op. The price of the property for a co-op is lower. However, the co-op fees are generally higher versus a condo where the condo purchase price is higher, but the condo fees are generally lower. Now, of course, there's always exceptions to the rule, depending upon the type of amenities that are in a condo, they can be just as expensive as a co-op. If there's elevator, swimming pool, a lot of options in regards to amenities that require a lot of maintenance. Those can increase condo fees as well as misappropriation of funds and things like that, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So the reason why co-op purchase prices are lower and the fees are generally higher is because there's an underlying mortgage for the property itself. With co-ops, you do not own the property. You own shares or interest in a nonprofit organization. So ultimately, you're signing a lease that states that you are able to utilize the unit and the common spaces as long as you are within these lease terms and kind of operate by the bylaws of the organization. Now with a condo, you own a mortgage for that unit, and then you do have common spaces that you share with the other condo residents. So those are kind of the main differences. Now, you may think that they kind of balance out sometimes depending upon, like I said, if a condo has a lot of amenities or not, or if people aren't paying their condo dues and, special assessments have been kind of spread out through all of the other condo owners, that can increase your condo fee. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they always level out. It always depends on the health of the organization. And how do you determine that? My sister asked me, how do you know if there are, reserves in the bank account for either or option? So you will have an opportunity to review condo docs, co-op docs. When you put an offer in, they will send you the documents so you can review them. Now, the good thing about that is that you have another way out of the contract, which is reviewing those docs. If you see things that you don't like, if you see, a ton of money being spent on things that don't necessarily make sense, like a ton of money on grass cutting and there's a very small amount of grass in the front yard or the backyard, what have you, then you have opportunity to exit the contract without losing your earnest money deposit. So those types of things you want to pay attention to. And you want to make sure they actually keep records, because otherwise that's also a red flag, is that they don't have either a management company managing their records properly, if they don't have any type of system or any type of process put into place in order to keep track of funds. Now you would possibly want to get on either board. Now with a condo board, there's an executive board like a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. Now you want to be on that board just to make sure that the money that you're spending goes to the right entities and that you do have a healthy reserve. Now you can't guarantee that, but you can at least be in that process and then being understanding kind of where the money needs to go and seeing what happens historically with that money for the next projected year. Now for co-ops, there are co-op boards that can be either seen in a good way or a bad way. Now it's a good thing when you can choose your neighbors not necessarily based off of their ability to pay, but based off of if they would be a good fit in the building. However, when you're selling your shares of that unit in a co-op, that means the board has to agree to accept that contract, not based, once again, off the ability to pay, but if they be a good fit within the property. So it depends on what side of that coin you're on, if that's a benefit or not. Now condos, you don't have that issue. You do have a condo board you consult with, monthly or quarterly, whatever the situation may be, but they do not accept or deny people in your, they do not accept or deny contracts that come in. So those types of things you just need to be aware of. Do you want to have to deal with that when you sell your shares in a co-op, or do you want to have a little bit more autonomy in regards to a condo board? So those things you should just research, talk to your agent about, Google. I mean, there's a ton of information out there on it. So please feel free to ask if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll